The federal government has assured members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) that the backlog of their newly approved 77,000 naira monthly allowance will be paid despite months of delay. The government also dismissed reports of any disciplinary action against a corps member, Ms. Uche Ogwamaye, who criticized President Bola Tinubu on social media. The Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Ayodele Olawande, reaffirmed the government's commitment to fulfilling its promise to core members. The sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibo Ete Ibas, retired as appointed Professor Ibibia Warika, a legal expert and administrator, as the new secretary to the state government, SSG. In a statement, the sole administrator known that the appointment, which takes immediate effect, followed a rigorous selection process in which Warika's extensive experience, academic credentials, and policy expertise stood out. In a related development, the ex-naval chief appointed Mr. Inyagi Brown as the permanent secretary for welfare and the office of the head of service to act as the head of service pending a substantive appointment. The appointment followed the resignation of the substantive head of service, Judge YK. Back home, health workers as key stakeholders in the fight against tuberculosis are enjoined to be more painstaking in the discharge of their duties by obtaining information about patients' history of cough and make effective use of modern diagnostic services provided by Gene Expert. Religious leaders are equally advised to be part of the crusade against TB by encouraging their followers to visit health facilities in suspected cases, leaving out the media organization whose roles are to disseminate TB messages to the general public. The Ogun State First Lady, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, gave the charge in a statement to mark the year 2025 World Tuberculosis Day. According to her, Nigeria is classified as a high TB prevalent country, but the state government are taking drastic measures to mitigate its prevalence in the state by equipping every health facility with free TB services in consideration of the less privileged in the society, noting that those with socioeconomic status are more vulnerable to the disease. The United Nations has announced that it will be reducing the size of its international team on the ground in Gaza after the Palestinian territory by Israeli forces killed hundreds of civilians, including UN personnel. UN spokesperson Mr. Stephen Dujarric said in a news briefing on Monday that approximately 30 of the UN's 100 or so international staff would leave Gaza this week, admitting that the withdrawal comes at a time when humanitarian needs have soared and concern over the protection of civilians intensifies. Mr. Dujarric said the temporary measure was a difficult decision taken by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres for security and operational reasons. Now to sports. England extended Thomas Tuchel's 100% start to his reign as Reece James' first international goal inspired a 3-0 win against Latvia in Monday's World Cup qualifier. Tuchel's side once again labelled to break down this defensive opposition for long periods at Wembley. But 3 days after struggling to beat Albania 2-0 in Tuchel's first game in charge, England eventually mustered enough composure and quality to kill off 148th ranked Latvia. James broke the deadlock with a superb free kick late in the first half as the Chelsea right back made an impressive first England start since September 2022. That was the news at 10 on OGBC, packaged by Temitope Alagbe Ube. For programs and the latest news updates, visit our website at ogradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Ogun Radio, Abeokuta, and on X at OGBC 905 FM. You can also listen to OGBC on the Radio Garden.